Hey JCT, you've got Jake and Danny here with John Christner Trucking, back with another episode of the JCT Podcast. It's a new year, 2022. 2021 tried to take us out, but we're here in the same conference room, breathing the same air, doing all right. Both recently have some run-ins with COVID, but I think that's just about everybody right now. So
yeah, like yourself, I just recently came back off my mandatory 5-day quarantine from COVID, and I guess I could say that, you know, I dodged it for a couple of years, and finally the Omicron caught up with me.
Yep.
And not just me, it sounds like roughly 8 to 10% of the population is currently experiencing that. And we're certainly not making light of that. It's not a laughing matter because there's some people being seriously affected. But, you know, right now, whether it's drivers or dispatchers or, you know, warehouse workers or just the general population, the disruptions that this is creating, you know, kids aren't able to go back to school. You know, the people that are experiencing serious conditions are hospitalized, and a lot of people are just having to quarantine and be away from work. So that's creating extreme disruptions, especially coming right out of the holiday when we're trying to get our network back in line. And this week has been extremely challenging, but I just want to reach out to the drivers and say, you know, if any of you are having issues with COVID and symptoms, please, you know, talk to us, talk to your driver manager or HR and compliance to see how we can do to help. You know, there's a lot of information out there available right now, and we want everybody to just be as safe as possible and to advocate for their situation the best they can. Only they know what their current and personal situation is. So, you know, another issue we just heard out about today is, you know, the Supreme Court.
Yeah, 5-10 minutes ago announced.
Right,
ruling on the vax mandate.
They blocked the Biden rules applying to large private employers, which is, we feel like, is a victory for us. You know, we do have more than 100 employees. A lot of our drivers are contractors, but we do have company drivers, and then we have a lot of non-driving employee base. So that would have been applicable to JCT, and it's something that we were definitely concerned about and watching. And it just came out today that the Supreme Court ruled in favor to block that. So once again, we think that it aligns with what should be, is that you have a right to choose your own personal decisions on your health care for you and your family.
Yeah, for sure. I think hopefully it's trending in the right direction of kind of the tack moving forward with this pandemic, is that it's not going anywhere. And, you know, we've got to learn how to move forward with it. And I don't think the way that you do that is force millions of people to make this predetermined private healthcare decision, the government deciding who does what and how you do it and what you take and what you don't take. I think we've been doing this for 2 years now, and we're starting to figure out, you know, there's not one solution that's going to solve this thing. So it's about, you know, being smart and working through it. And like you said, it's kind of spiking everywhere right now.
Yeah, no, we currently have dozens of people out between Fort Worth and Sapulpa, so we're down to kind of a skeleton crew. We've got people working from home, so please just be patient. We'll try to accommodate everyone's needs and get back to business as usual as quick as possible. So, well, enough about that. You're right. We did survive 2021, and we made it through the holidays. And today, what I'd like to touch on is what we think is a neat and beneficial program for the drivers that worked over the holidays. You know, we threw out that 30 cent per mile premium pay on the window from basically December 21st to January 4th. The results are in. We ran almost 2.8 million miles during that time. And if you're doing the quick math, it's over $800,000 in extra pay we paid out to our drivers.
It's a small check.
And I'm excited about that, honestly. And as I look down the list, I see so many drivers, you know, that, I see single drivers that ran 6,000 to 7,000 miles during that 2-week period and received over $2,000 in extra pay. We've got teams that, you know, exceeded 10,000 to 12,000 miles in that 2-week period, which paid out an extra $3,000 or $4,000. So this was real money that was paid out. And let me just say that, you know, based on, we had some customers that stepped up too to help offset that cost, and they saw the value in this program. Their way to compensate the drivers for that sacrifice they make, and really the sacrifice is not just during that period. It's 52 weeks out of the year when drivers are gone away from home and out delivering freight, dealing with traffic, dealing with other things out on the road that we can't even imagine. And so this was a way to, one, compensate them for their time and effort and a bit of a reward, And we couldn't be happier to see the way it came out.
The best part about that program is you have those drivers that ran a lot of extra miles and made a lot of money, but then there's even some that, maybe didn't do as much, but they still benefited from being out. So everybody benefited. If you ran miles over that period of time, you saw that increase, and that's the best part about it.
Yeah, that's why we structured it like that. Yeah. So let's talk about going forward into 22. We know that there's still inflationary effects in the market. We're trying to work with our customers to make sure we right-size our pricing. We're seeing some bid activity. We're accepting and transacting as much freight as we can with our customers, but demand is very strong. Labor is difficult. Not just it was difficult before this most recent surge of Omicron, but now when you look at what's going on now, it's knocking out even another 8 to 10% of the labor force. So there's acute shortages right now that we hopefully see get corrected in the next week or two or over the next month. But in spite of that, we've got to right-size our program to make sure that our drivers are realizing the maximum benefit they can. And what we're getting ready to do is we're going to make a change to our base pay again. And I know we've done some changes here recently that were well received. And this one I think everyone's going to like for sure. And to give you an idea, our current base pay is $1.05 per mile, which is paid on all miles, empty and loaded. And then there's an 8-cent market premium on top of that, so that brings the pay up to $1.13. What we're going to do is we're going to take that market premium, that 8-cent market premium, and convert it into base pay, which moves the base pay to $1.13. And then we're going to add another 7 cents. This is a totally new incremental add of 7 cents per mile to the base pay, which is going to bring it to a total of $1.20 per mile on base pay.
I'm sure there's guys doing backflips right now. They better be careful if you're driving and listening to this. Hold on tight to the steering wheel.
Yeah, and that's going to be effective on loads emptying as of Friday, January 21st. So just so everyone knows, it's a week from this Friday. This new change will take place. And your base pay, there will not be a market premium. It'll be folded into the base pay. There will be an additional 7 cents added, and so your total base pay now is going to be $1.20 per mile plus the normal fuel surcharge reimbursement. We will still have the 2 cent per mile safety bonus, which is reconciled quarterly. But every week on your miles, this base pay is going to be applied.
Yeah, with all the change, it's hard to even kind of remember all the changes that have gone on, even in 2021. All the changes to base pay, going to practical miles.
Right.
We got the market premium, and so yeah. But to jump it up on base pay another 7 cents and transition the market premium to the base pay, I mean, I think that's just kind of a win-win across the board. I don't think in this market there was ever really a threat of that market premium going away, but the fact that it's now transitioned into a base pay is just a sure thing that it's going to be there moving forward.
Absolutely, yeah. But we're not done yet.
That's it. No, that's not it, huh?
That's what we're doing to the base pay. Okay. By the way, company drivers will also go from 50 cents a mile to 55 cents per mile, so they're getting a 5-cent increase. But then one of the other things I think drivers are going to be excited about is our detention policy. And it currently says that after 4 hours of free time, then you're eligible for detention. We're going to cut that in half, and we're going to go from 4 hours to 2 hours. And I'll just tell you, drivers, that we've heard from so many of you. First of all, none of you, what we hear from you first is, I don't want detention, I want miles. And believe me, we're in the same boat. We don't want to have to incur, pay, or bill detention. We want to get a load, pick it up, and deliver it as scheduled. Do it again and keep you running and bill miles. That's our primary business. But as you know, there are delays that occur, sometimes at the shipper, sometimes at the receiver, load points, other areas of delay. And so what we are going to do is then reduce the amount of free time that you have to give from 4 hours to 2 hours. All the things will still remain the same, the rate of pay for detention, the way the module works, your macros and stuff. But instead of having to wait 4 hours before you become eligible for detention, it's now going to be after 2.
Well, and I think that is kind of a direct result of maybe some of the survey that we've been doing and seeing that kind of consistently comes up as a concern for our drivers, that spending 4 hours is a lot of time before getting that detention started. I think both those announcements there, so you've attacked the base pay and increased that, so that's just more to the bottom line there. But now the operational part of when you have to incur those delays and it takes a long time, it's frustrating. Now it's starting 2 hours earlier, and I think more in line with what you drivers want. So I think those are two great, kind of attack points as far as, compensation overall.
Yeah, we agree. We think so too, and we're excited about that. And we're excited about this year. I mean, we have As you know, we talked about our southern routes in some of our last communications and how we run so much across the bottom of the country or the middle of the country. We do have some traffic that goes up north, and as you've seen recently, there's been weather up north, as there is this time of year. And we even had weather down south last year, but so far, knock on wood, we've avoided that severe weather here in the southern part of the U.S. So what we would encourage our drivers to do is get out there and take advantage of this time of year when, JCT has the freight, we have the miles, we've increased base pay, we've came up with better detention terms, we're working with you on home time, we're working with you on all the other different friction points, trying to remove those and to make this a better place to work. And we value you as a driver, as a person, as a family member for this company. And we're going to fight for you and continue to advocate and find ways to make this a better job, a better place to work, a better place to partner with, and to see you become successful and be a truck owner of your own. And I mean that just from the bottom of my heart about how thankful I am for what all the drivers do, what all the non-driving associates do, including Jake and all the people here in Sapulpa and in Fort Worth and in the shop and in other locations. We couldn't do it without everybody. It's a team effort. And in the face of adversity, organizations like JCT, we survive. Not only do we survive, we thrive. And that's how we make our name and make our bones. And we've done that year after year, 35 years in business. We hear it from our customers. We hear it in relation to our peers. And there's some other good companies out there that are just as stable and as strong as JCT, but not many. And you're with the right company. So I just encourage you to lean into this opportunity, to continue to communicate with us, collaborate with us. We're going to listen to you. We're going to hear what you say, and we're going to continue to revise this program, smooth out these friction points, and make your experience here the best it can be.
Yeah, I think, man, after that, there's not much else to say. I think, like you said, improving the program, doing everything we can to make you as successful as possible, and trying to keep up with this crazy world where inflation's going up and the cost of capacity is becoming so much more. We're passing that on to you, and a lot of it is in ways that I think you would prefer based on the survey results and what we get. We're kind of attacking that and doing what we can to make those friction points go away. So please continue to do that. But yeah, thank you so much for working over the holidays, but just working here in general, and we appreciate everything that you guys do for us.
Yeah, we sure do. So let's have a great 2022 and be looking for the additional changes as we go forward when we can recognize and find ways to improve the program. But for right now, know this, that on trips emptying out January 21st, your base pay will be $1.20 per mile. You'll be eligible for detention after 2 hours. Company drivers go from 50 to 55 cents. And that's the deal.
It's a win-win-win-win there, I think.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. We're going to sign off. Appreciate everybody. Stay safe. Happy trucking.
Thank you.